turns into 2 years and then 3 years. But as long as you keep moving forward, eventually things will start happening to you. So our event is going to be our first one in the US, first of all, and it's incredible because if you guys don't know, but our first convention was in a banquet hall, maybe Jamie, or a community center. Jamie will talk about it. And it was nothing compared to the first one we did in a big hall. And then it went to another event where there was vanilla ice. And then it went to a bigger event. And it was just like, we just keep growing and growing and growing. And you have to be part of this. If you're not part of this, then you're not going to be part of the excitement and the growth of where Experior is going. And the best way to do that is to get fired up and show up and get your new people there. Listen, it may not be for you. It may not be, you may be all motivated and jacked up and you may be all focused and everything like that. But what about the people on your team? What about the people that need to hear from someone else other than you? Because after a while, people stop listening to you, right? So that's the reason why you have to get to the convention. But yeah, I'm looking so forward to it. It's going to be amazing, Jamie. Thank you for everything that you and Leanne have done. Like, this company is on fire and I'm just so glad to be a part of it. Thanks again, man.
Sorry, by the way, guys, thanks, Mauro. This whole meeting is not just about why you need to be at this convention, but we're definitely going to take some time because there is a method to our madness. You're going to see that as we go throughout this session. Next up, why don't we have Frank DeLeo? He was also a part of our first ever national convention. By national, I mean we were in one province at the time, not all 14 provinces that Canada apparently had. Just kidding. There's not 14 provinces in Canada, in case you didn't know. But no, we I had to, Mauro. So we only had one province, and basically we only had like two towns. You know, we had like the town of Guelph and maybe the city of Puslinch. And we had this convention. Frank was a part of it. Frank, maybe share your experience there compared to, you know, fast forward to where we are today and what things are looking like.
Hey, Jamie, again, thanks for doing this. This is amazing. Appreciate everything. And just thank you to everyone. Experior Nation, just absolutely blessed. And man, so excited. Jamie, can I share my screen for 1 sec? I got to show everybody a picture.
Yeah,
I've been fumbling around this morning looking for it. I found it. I want to show everybody something. This picture is circa, I want to say somewhere around 2007-ish, somewhere around that time. Let me watch this, Jamie. Watch this. Look at this. Okay. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? That is around 2007. That was our team at that convention. That was our team. That was us. That was the four of us. Okay. And yeah, we were up in the nosebleeds. We literally were just the four of us, and it didn't matter where we were. You know, honestly, it didn't matter where we were financially. It didn't matter where we were in our business or anything. We were told, if you want to win big in life, you've got to be around other winners and other people that are going to help you get out of the rut and where you're stuck. And that's what I was told. That's what Mauro told me. That's what the people around us told us. So it was never, oh, I don't know if we can get to the convention this year. It was always, how are we going to get to the convention this year? How are we going to figure out to get there? That was always the big difference. And I look at this picture and, you know, who knows, Jamie? Who knows? You know, obviously we can't go back in time. We can't figure it out. Would we be here today if we missed that particular convention? Would we be here today? I don't know. But guys, I can tell you all this. One thing is a fact. We don't know what we don't know, except we do know there are not 14 provinces in Canada. Sorry, I had to say that. Sorry, I just had to. But that one we know for sure, okay? But anyway, so we don't know what we don't know, right? And Jamie, how do you know what you're going to hear at the next convention isn't going to change your flipping life? Look, I'll share something. Jamie, I've never shared this before. I've never said this to you. I've never said this to Mauro. I've never said this to anybody. Guys, when we came to Experior 9 years ago and we had that first convention, which, by the way, I had the picture up last night. I'm going to pull it up. When we went to that first convention, Jamie, I got to tell you guys the truth. I felt like a somebody. I felt like a somebody. I felt like I'm part of something. I'm important. I'm a big deal. I felt so much like it's hard to describe, but that first convention was our baby. It was one of those things, guys, where we could look back and like laugh and say Frank ate all the sandwiches in the kitchen. We ran out of food. We could say that. But man, if someone else pokes fun at our first convention, I will slap you around because that was our baby. You understand? So I don't know. There's just this feeling, guys, and I'm challenging everybody here. Instead of trying to find all this external crap in the world that you want to be a part of, and you might not even realize that when you align yourself with the wrong things in the world, and I'm not talking about anything and everything between politics and this and that and whatever, you know what? Why don't you find a place like this where you could feel like this is your baby? This is the kind of place where you want to attach yourself to, because not only do our lives change, but we help so many other people's lives change in a big way. And it's a big deal. And Jamie, I just, from day one, looking at the picture, I'm going to find it. I'll share it next, but later on, but just, I felt like this was ours. This was ours. And by the way, 9 years later, still feel the same way. Woo! Back to you, brother.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, it was a small convention. I think we had 70 people there in the whole company. But I'll tell you what, it was special. And you know, look what we've done since. You know, we've had some, you know, like Mauro mentioned, we had Vanilla Ice rapping at one of ours and partying with us the whole night. We had Muggsy Bogues at the last one. We've got an industry icon attending this one. I can't pronounce his first name, so I'm not going to ruin it. But you know, it's just exciting where we've come, and and now having our first one in the U.S. One thing I can tell you is the first one in the U.S., it won't be like the one in Puss Lynch, though, unfortunately, Frank, okay? It's going to be a little bit bigger, a little more higher class. You know, we've grown since then. So
There'll be more sandwiches.
anyways, next up, let's have Darren and Stephanie. They've, again, been with Experior for 7 years, about to crack over that 1 million mark, which they've never got to at their former company. And they're excited to do it here. And what a deserving couple. So Darren and Stephanie, take it away. What are your thoughts on what's coming up in the convention and you know, your past experience with them?
Hey guys, well, hey, a pleasure to be here. You know, Frank and Mauro and all the great leaders here. It's been an amazing journey, Jamie. And honestly, like the thing about convention, if you could already make what you wanted to make or become what you want to become here or get promoted to the level you want to get promoted at, if you could already do that, you'd already be there. So what I believe about convention is this: it stretches your vision. It stretches your vision. It forces you to think outside the box. And it puts you around the environment of people, Jamie, that have done what you want to do, that have gone to where you want to go, that have achieved what you wanted to achieve. And so for me, I always have marveled at the people on the stage, and then I meet them when they got off the stage. You're like, oh my gosh, that guy's unbelievable. And I go and say, hey, you know, Frank or Mauro or Jamie or Juan, like whoever it is that was speaking, you know, and Andrea and all these different leaders. And I'd say, hey, you know, can I just ask you, like, what should I do to get to where you are? And they'd tell me the same things I heard before, but then they'd say, well, tell me about your background. Where'd you come from? What industry? Well, you need to go do this and go talk to those same people. And so they gave me hope and inspiration. And then they said, you know, Darren, it's not really that complicated. It's not really that challenging if you really just go to work. And then they gave me that inspiration to think maybe I can do this, because they're on stage speaking and they're telling me to do the things that maybe I knew I needed to do, but I just needed to hear it from someone I could relate to. And so I found that conventions always encouraged us to get around those people that challenged us to go to the next level and then also believed in us. I think the biggest thing, Jamie, for me in conventions was I met so many people that said, man, you can do this. You guys can do this. You can get there. You can become successful. And I think that was the big thing for me, Jamie, was just being able to be around those like-minded people. And then I just started to believe I could. I know Steph, the same thing. You know, I'll let her talk about her convention experience. But Han, what do you think about convention? Like when we went to our first ones, you were new to this industry, not from the industry at all.
I was new in the industry, and at first I was thinking, what is this convention all about? And I'm sure there's tons of people that are going to ask them, what is this? I'm going to be spending all this money. And I when you're there, then you know, and you can bring that excitement back, but you do whatever it takes to get there. And trust us, when you say do whatever it takes, I remember we would carpool, and we had 6 people in the car, and I think you're only allowed 5, but we had 6 people in the car. We all slept in the same room, and these are all girls, ladies. And you know, when we have to use all
Who
the
used
same
the bathroom?
we
Did you have 10 bathrooms?
no, some people slept on the floor, some people slept on the tub. But listen, we did whatever it took to get them.
That's
And it's crazy. And we pay for like, yeah, it's yeah.
6
it's-
people sharing one room. That cut your cost down a lot. That's a Ukrainian hotel room.
Yeah, and a Vietnamese. So Vietnamese and
Vietnamese Ukrainian
Ukrainian.
hotel room.
Better than that.
So yeah, guys, get to convention. I'm telling you, it's such an important part of your business. And listen, I know it's a stretch. What I would tell you is this: go help one more family. Go look at all your F&As, EFAs, all your info gatherers. Anyone that's not done business with you yet, anyone that was talking about doing something, pull those lists out. Pull out your potential clients. Talk to your teammates and help them close some business, and help 1 or 2 more families, and that'll make the money to get there. If you're working in a job, work an extra hour overtime, couple weekends before the convention, that'll hopefully pay for the cost to go. And I would just do whatever it takes to get there, Jamie. That's what I would tell everybody here. It's so worth it. It'll change your mindset. It'll take you to a new level of thinking that you can't get by staying home saying, I'm gonna work hard while you guys are going. I'm sorry, guys, I don't believe that for 1 second. You might work hard, but you're gonna work hard anyways. I think you need to go there and get that inspiration.
Can I say, I want to add something as well. You know, it's crazy because when you go to convention, you hear all these amazing speakers, and they are amazing, sharing you tidbits of what they've known, how they built their business. Where a lot of us actually pay to get like a personal coach that you pay how much would be a.
Oh,
You're
sorry,
muted.
guys. I just muted you by accident. I didn't think it would mute you as co-host. My bad.
What did I say?
If you talk about, you pay $1,000 for these other courses, other events.
Yeah, and here you get to hear so many speakers speak. So that's kind of what I wanted to say.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Right on, guys. Awesome. And what a power couple. It's so cool because even though they had big success in their last company, right? Stephanie, just so you guys know, Stephanie and Darren met at World Financial Group where they built their first business together. Stephanie was a 6-figure ring earner, and Darren, because he's a good recruiter, recruited her into his life, and they're now life partners and been married, what, 9-10 years now? 12?
This year.
12, 13, yeah.
Wow,
Maybe 13
awesome.
this year.
And Darren and Stephanie together ended up building a business just shy of $700,000 a year at World Financial Group, sold their code, the first CEO marketing directors in WFG history in Canada at that time to actually sell their code, went off and worked on other business ventures, invested in property, did well for themselves, and joined Experior. And by the way, for those that don't know, I don't know if Darren mentioned, he is Ukrainian, so he's allowed to make Ukrainian jokes. Okay, so just in case someone's like, "Well, that was a blow," there. Like, no, he's actually, his family's from Ukraine. Okay, so next up we've got the newest kids on the block, but definitely not new to the industry, going on 20 years in the industry. But with Experior, 9 days. No, sorry, 9 weeks. No, sorry. 9 months they've been with Experior, because we don't exaggerate time frames here and we don't do time travel, but we certainly have people having success very fast. Juan and Veronica Heine, if you guys want to share a little bit about your experience with conventions and your excitement, because this is actually your first convention in 2 years, because you skipped the last one with your old company and you didn't come to ours because it was right around the transition time. So what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, good morning, everybody. And thank you, Jamie. Apologize. Man, we're stuck. I've been driving for an hour, and I have my little guy here. It was his last soccer practice day today. There's an Ironman. You can see the traffic just to get home. But I don't want to be on my phone. But anyways, we're here. We do whatever it takes. And I want to start by saying, yes, I've been in the industry 19 years, going on 20. I'm fired up, man. This is our first convention in Experior. And you're right, I never even thought about it. Last year, I didn't go. I skipped my company convention. I didn't join your convention because I was not all in yet. I started in August 1st. And now looking like, man, we're excited. I'll tell you this, in 19 years, 3 things I want to share with all of you. And I guess not all about convention today, but I would not be where I am right now, financially, mentally, just the size of the organization, if it wasn't for events like convention. And I want to share something with all of you. My first convention, can you guys see me? I see Jamie.
Yeah, we can see you, buddy.
Oh, okay. Maybe just because my phone. But my first convention, I was brand new in the business. I was probably in the business 3 months, not even licensed yet, because it took 4 times to pass my test. So I was not even licensed yet. And at that time, my mentor told me, hey, there's a convention going on in Las Vegas. I need you to go with us. And I'm 23 years old. My mentor's 23. Like everybody in the office is 21, 22, 23-year-olds. I think the oldest guy was 24. And I'm telling my wife, hey, honey, I'm going to convention to Vegas with a bunch of guys, right? And I was the only married guy. Everybody I was single, I was married. And Veronica's like, what are you talking about convention in Vegas? What is this for? Plus, you haven't made no money. And some of you are going to go through this, right? She started giving me all the excuses at that time. You have no money. You're not even licensed. You have not made any money. We got no money. Now you're going to take a week off work to go to Vegas to work with a bunch of guys that I don't even know yet. I don't know about this, right? And I'm like, honey, my mentor told me I gotta go. It's a national convention. We leave on Tuesday. We'll be back on Sunday. And I kind of explained it to her, the vision and the reason. And she's like, all right, I think you should go. But that's when we look at each other and say, but we got no money. And at that time, I was doing plumbing and construction with my dad. So I called my dad and said, Dad, can I get a week off work? And he's like, mijo, you can take a month if you want. Remember, you don't work, you don't get paid. Take as much time you want. I'm like, shoot, right? So I didn't get paid that week. And I'll never forget this. And I tell you guys this because looking back now. But anyways, I called my mother-in-law. Veronica will not let me lie. I called my mother-in-law and said, the best mother-in-law in the world, I need a huge favor. And I have done a field training appointment with her, right? Early. And then I'm like, I'm going to an event. I need to borrow a few $100s. Can I borrow your credit card? I didn't even ask her for money, like cash. I said, can I borrow your credit card so I can go online and buy my ticket for the convention? It's $200 or something like that. And she's like, is this about the business you came a few months ago and you're excited? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how much is it, mijo? And I'm like, maybe 200 plus I need another probably $100. She's like, go ahead, here's the number. And there's a story why I'm telling you this. Ready? I borrowed the money. I got a week from work. I roommate with like all these guys at I believe the hotel was like, I don't even know the name, but it was like horrible, right? Like 10 guys sleeping on the same room. But I'll tell you this. I came back and I was a different Juan. I saw the picture. I saw the big vision. I got closer to the guys I went with because I had just met them a few months ago. Prior to that, I came back, got licensed that month, and quit my job. My first month licensed in business, made $21,000, paid my mother-in-law back, and I never looked back since then. Became a ring earner my first year, became a broker the year. I qualified for Hawaii, made $130,000 my first year, and we never looked back. And the reason why I say that story, I invested on my future, I invested on my kids' future, and my mother-in-law was so smart because we help my mother-in-law now. We bought her a house. We have her on payroll every month. Keep that private, but she gets a check every month. And every single time they need a favor to travel or anything, they know who they can count on, right? And the reason why I say that is, what if I would have not showed up? What if I fear of borrowing him $200? Now I make $200 while probably what we're driving right now, right? But you gotta look back now and say, man, it's an investment in yourself, guys. And yes, it's not gonna be easy. It's May. We few weeks away. Figure it out. Figure it out. If I were to tell you right now, I cannot predict the future. If I were to tell you 5 years from now, you will be financially independent. 5 years from now, you'll be debt free. 5 years from now, you'll be the go-to person in your family. 5 years from now, you can retire your spouse. Is it worth it investing a couple $100? Let's be real. Is it worth it? Some of us spend money to go and buy a ticket at a concert. You spend more money going to a soccer game. You invest more money buying a purse, shoes. Nothing wrong with that. But there's no return on that. You see, one thing I have learned over the years, there's something that you spend with no return. That's why it's called spending. Convention is not expense. Convention is an investment. And you got to go thinking, expecting return. Come to this convention, join us. And if it's a money issue, it's not a money issue. You can figure it out. You can literally go online right now, capitalone.com, as fast credit as you might have, and you can probably qualify for $500. Now, here's the only deal. Ready? And I'll say it because this is what my mentor told me. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't believe in the company, if you don't believe this business is worth it, you don't think you got what it takes, don't invest in you. because that means you don't have what it takes to pay that back. But if you believe in yourself, you believe in the platform, you believe in the leadership, man, you're gonna look back and those few $100, I guarantee you, will probably be the best investment you ever do, only if you take it seriously. And Jamie, I'm telling you right now, we live in a beautiful area. The cheapest home here is $2-3 million. My kids go to private schools. I have cars and travel and have fun and millions of dollars invested. And I've been financially independent for over a decade. And I'll tell you guys right now why. Because I went to that convention. And I'm not just telling you to rah-rah you. I'm really serious because your future's in your hands. And if you don't go, ready? What will be the... And yeah, I agree with Darren. Don't be like, well, I don't need it. While you guys go, I keep doing some appointments. But that's the wrong thinking. You should be doing appointments anyways. Why are you doing appointments during convention? This is a Super Bowl. If you're part of the team, we won the championship this year. What do you mean you're not going to show up? You got to go. So anyways, convention is not even negotiable. My mentor told me, if you don't go to this convention, most likely you will not be here next year. So I'll tell you the same. Invest in yourself, invest in your future. I would not be where I am right now financially, mentally, the size of the team, the mindset, if it wasn't to be around guys like this that you're going to hear and just you getting yourself out of the comfort zone. Because that's really what it takes. You'll never change in comfort zone. If this convention makes you a little uncomfortable, borrow money, do this, babysitting, figure it out, great, figure it out. That's called entrepreneurship. So anyway, Jamie, back to you.
Wow, guys, I'll tell you what. So I guess if you need to know how to get the ticket because you ignored the last 500 emails that came out to you, go to experiorevents.com. And if you don't have your ticket yet, I don't know what else Juan could share or all these great leaders, but I'm fired up, man. I'm trying to figure out how I can buy another ticket. Can we buy 2, 3? As a matter of fact, you can if you have guests coming. But man, I'll tell you, awesome job. So guys, listen, what is the future of Experior in your mind? And I just want one of you maybe to pop on and share. I don't need all 4 of you guys or gals. But what do you see as the future of Experior? If you could put it into 1 minute. I know that's hard because there's so much, but in 1 minute, what's the future of Experior in your mind? And first one to unmute is going to answer of the executive partners that we're meeting with today.
Hey, Jamie. I think the future is to dominate this industry. We've been at this a long time. I got to know all these amazing leaders here, and we know where we all came from. We all came from different companies. And when you have a company that is so attractive in the industry, that has one of the best compensation models ever been designed, one of the greatest leadership teams ever, one of the greatest head offices ever, and you look at what we have to move forward with our future, it wasn't like this before, Jamie. We couldn't bring people from all over the industry. We only could ever talk to brand new people. But in our world today, we can not only bring brand new people, but licensed agents from the industry as well as teams of agents. So, Jamie, when I look at the future of the industry, when you look at models today that are stuck in the 1980s compensation plans, they're stuck in 25-30% contracts for beginners. No one can make money and stay in the industry at 25-30%. So when you start people off at a high contract level, competitive to the whole industry, and then offer them an opportunity to be either a producer or a builder or both in our model, it's revolutionary, Jamie. So I want to say thank you to your vision, you and Leanne, for this opportunity. And like Juan said, guys, it's an amazing opportunity to go. Jamie, when I went to convention, we were 116,000 in credit card debt when I went to my first convention. So I don't think anyone has too many other excuses not to go, Jamie, but thank you for this platform, man. It's been amazing.
Awesome. And I assume you paid off your debt since then. That was some time ago.
Slightly, yeah, slightly.
Awesome stuff. Okay. I got a couple points here that I wanted to share. Now, the one, we always have great questions that we want to ask leaders, but if I could ask someone in this call, okay, to unmute yourself, it'll be the first one to do it. If you could ask a multimillionaire, someone that's on their way to becoming Deca, some are already, but on their way to becoming Deca millionaires, centimillionaires, if you could ask them one question about what it took for them to build the business, or what keys could you get from them? First one to unmute and ask that question. You can choose who you want to ask. Who wants to ask?
I do.
Let's hear it.
What type of, first of all, good morning, everybody.
Who's this?
This is Shakelia Caro.
Shakelia. That's a cool name.
Thank you. So my question is, what type of support staff that they need to help propel them?
Excellent. I know who I want to answer this question. I'm going to see who does answer this question.
Who's the question to?
Anyone?
When you say, Shaq, thanks for the question. When you ask support staff, what exactly are you talking about? Are you talking about like office staff?
Right. Or whether, tell me what you needed as far as the structure of your business, right?
Okay.
Because
I'm
sometimes
the
it's
perfect
very
person to
difficult.
answer this question, Shaq. I'm the perfect person to answer this question
Okay.
because I didn't get a personal assistant until this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that it's right. I probably could have done things a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker. But at the beginning, when there wasn't enough money, when there wasn't enough vision, let's say, I had to depend on myself. And I think at the beginning, anyone on this call, you do have to dig deep. You do have to dig deep because like Juan said and everyone else, we're entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, basically, you're on your own. The great thing is, though, you're not on your own when you're with Experior because you got great uplines, you got great sidelines, you have an incredible leadership at head office that will always help you build. We didn't always have that. Frank, and when I say we, I'm talking about Frank and myself. We depended a lot on each other. There's a term we use called foxhole buddy, which is, and that's what you need to do. You got to find someone that you can, lock arms with and fight the good fight together, help each other, develop certain skills, all that kind of stuff. But getting a support staff, we've got a great support staff at head office. But yeah, eventually you're going to have to get to a point where you can afford to get someone to help. And today you guys are really lucky because you have AI. And that's like, it's cheap. You got Fiverr, you got all that kind of stuff. Way back when we didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah, we didn't even have a computer when I started. So, I hope that answers your question, but you got to dig deep and you have to be your own support staff at the beginning and gather people around you who will help support. And you have to be that support staff for other people on your team. Right? That's key too. Okay, Shaq? Like,
Yes.
don't, just because you don't have the means or the resources doesn't mean you leave your people to die on the field, right? You gotta help them. You gotta fight through it together. And then the results are going to be something that you've never, ever dreamt of because you did it together. So I hope that helps.
Yes. Thank you for that. I like that, being on the foxhole together. I'm going to take that forward.
I'm gonna add one more thing to that because I was actually on a call literally yesterday. I jumped on to say hi to this power couple that's looking to join Experior, a part of Mark Tarolia's organization and Omar Wisdom. And I was on there and Golka was on as well, this other lady, Diana. And I was talking to this couple and the one lady, Diana, says, she goes, when I came to Experior, I lost my job. And I was like, I didn't quite understand what she was saying. And I guess she was the support staff and an agent for these two agents, Omar and Mark. And she says that she lost her job because now everything that she used to have to do at their former IMO, Experior now does for them. So she's out of a job. So we do a lot of the support for the organization, but not everything, right? I mean, there's certain things when you start making a $500,000, $750 million a year, you should invest in your business because it's now time to help yourself delegate. For example, I've been talking with Mo and Frank about they have a big book of business. They've been strong producers through their entire careers. And I've talked to them many times over about, man, you need someone to help out with your clients because you're not going to have time to service clients especially in the mutual fund industry here in Canada, and they both have their mutual fund license. So they've done that. They've invested in it in someone that's licensed and can help them take over that part of their business. So great question. Who else? Let's open up for another question for any of these leaders.
I have a question, Jamie.
Let's hear it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm with Kizzy. Kizzy?
Hey guys, there's a superstar couple if I ever saw one.
So my question is for Jamie. Now that you have 4 executive partners, what's next for Jamie?
Stay tuned for the convention because executive partners are going to be a thing of the past. I'm going to make our executive partners uncomfortable and want to get to another level. We got bigger, better things planned, man. I'll tell you this, Mahad, the worst you're ever going to see Experior, the worst is right now today.
Wow.
And it's pretty damn good right now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna humbly say, or maybe I'm bragging out, but we got the best damn thing in the industry right now. I mean, I will sit toe to toe with the CEO and founder of any organization publicly on a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Live. I don't give a crap. I'll go on CNN News, face to face with any other owner, shareholder, stakeholder, CEO, president of any other IMO or MGA in the industry, and I will sit toe to toe with them, and I will gladly expose everything that we offer and compare notes, because I know that we have the superior compensation model for a builder. We have the superior compensation model even for producers that need support. We have a superior program for those folks as well. But I'll say this, as great as all that is, compared to what we're going to look like in 5 years from now, in 3 years from now, we suck. Compared to what we're going to look like. And I'll tell you, sometimes people complain about things like, oh, I didn't get a call back. You know, it took 2 days for head office to get back to me, or 24 hours or 3 hours. People complain sometimes. And it's like, listen, we're only going to become more efficient as we continue to grow. We are investing in resource after resource. We're going to make this company so obviously the best IMO, MGA on the planet that no one can argue with us anymore. All they can do is hide their people from us. They can no longer argue. Right now they can argue because they might have 1 point here that they can go, well, we beat them there. Or they're one out of 100 points, our competitors find 1 out of 100. And they go, well, we beat them there. Oh, look we beat them there. And then they make that look like it's the whole, it's like, bro, we're beating you in 99 other areas. You're picking 1. I want it to be so obvious they can't even pick 1. That they just have to go, oh, Experior? Yeah, don't talk to those guys. Don't talk to those guys. That's what I want all our competitors saying about us. Don't talk to Experior. No, don't talk to their people. Oh, they're brainwashed. They won't listen to you anyways. That's what I want them to say about us. Because, man, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. Or if
No, it does. It does, Jamie. Thank you so much.
All right. Awesome, man. Awesome. Any other questions for some of these great leaders?
I do. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm Edith.
Hey, Puerto Rico.
How are you? I just
Excellent.
the watch.
What's that?
I just hit the watch.
Hey, congratulations. Awesome. Are you the first in Puerto Rico, probably, I think, to get the watch?
Yeah. Yes, I
Awesome.
am.
Awesome.
Yes, in 2 months I did it.
Nice. Very nice. Congrats.
But I had a question. What is your plan for Puerto Rico? Because I have the license from all the states in the United States and Canada, but of course I live in Puerto Rico. I want to know what you're planning to do with Puerto Rico, because we want to go big.
Yeah. Well, number one, I want to buy a house there. So I
can help you.
I love the fact that it's a different demographic that a lot of companies have avoided. There's a handful that have gone there, no question, but most of them have avoided it. And I think the reason it's been avoided is because it was too much work for them to go there and not enough return. We have a bigger vision for Puerto Rico than others. I know that there are a couple of builders models there, and I believe, and this is just me talking out loud, this is my thought process, I believe that one day in Puerto Rico, specifically that territory, there will only be one builders organization in Puerto Rico in the next 5 years. And that one builders organization in Puerto Rico will be Experior. We will represent all of the builders organizations. I believe that the others will cease to exist. That's my thought process on it, because I feel like as we continue to grow, attract people, eventually these other competitors are just going to throw in the towel, wave the white flag, and say, it's over. We tried Puerto Rico. It's not working anymore. Experior's, done too much here, and let's just focus on the other 50 states. That's what I think is going to happen in Puerto Rico. So my vision for that territory is much like every other state and province and territory in Canada, and that is to take over. But I think specifically in Puerto Rico, because of the language barrier and the fact that most companies do not want to invest as much into the Spanish market, I feel like that's why we've got a leg up, because we're looking at the Spanish market and taking it just as serious as if it was the English market.
We're seeing that, Jamie, now in Puerto Rico, companies are starting to fold quickly.
Yeah, and by the way, speaking of Puerto Rico, my last contact with head office was 20 minutes before this call. And when I say head office, it was actually Leanne, but on her Teams app, my wife, and it was about Puerto Rico and stuff with annuities and what we're going to be doing there and stuff. So like literally, that's like it's like forefront for us. It's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Frank has his hand up, Jamie. You want to
Oh
comment?
yeah, Franco, go for it, buddy.
Jamie, I just wanted to add to what you said previously and just a touch about the future of Experior, because I think it's connected with even your last answer. There's a saying that says you give as good as you get. Okay? There's a saying that says you give as good as you get. And I'm excited about the future of Experior because what we are getting should elicit, guys, that we give everything we got. Okay. What Experior is providing for us in terms of the support, the platform, everything, the product shelf, everything, they're giving us everything that we need to change our lives in a short period of time. And our future is this. We are going to continue to give as good as we get on both sides of the equation. All right. And Jamie, for me, that's the industry. That's us. Oh, thank you. That's Jamie. That's us continuing to show the industry that we can build a company where we recruit people without it compromising our clients, number one, and number two, without compromising any real type of ownership, any real type of opportunity for that new person to join us. I think our future, as long as we stay on this path, and we are and we will, our future is all about showing the industry how to build something that gives people a real opportunity and treats them with respect, right? So folks, I want to remind everybody, give as good as you get. And I'm telling you, none of us can get anything better than what we got here at Experior. I just wanted to share that with you, brother.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Fire. All right. Who's got another question? Oh, I see Paula Belero.
Hi there.
Hola.
Hola. Jimmy, I want to ask you one question. Do you ever have plans for Brazil?
It's a great question. And people ask me Brazil, they ask me Philippines, India, I have plans for everything that's possible and reasonable. Okay. The plan right now, we're building a lot of things on the tech side. Something we're transitioning into microservices, it's called, where we kind of can segment pieces out of our technology. So there's a big $7 million investment into that over the next 3 years. That 3 years started in the summer. And that's in addition to what we do operationally with our tech and keeping things running smooth and all that. So we're looking at by around mid 2027, we start to look at what countries are going to make sense to expand from. But until then, we're not even opening our eyes, other than if I have a relationship we can build, great, but we're not diving into it because every country has different rules, regulations. Every country's not going to be ideal for us, right? I've heard things about Mexico and Philippines that might turn entities like ours away in terms of other companies that have tried. Now, those other companies weren't Experior, so I'm going to be a little bit leaning towards, well, maybe they didn't do it right and they screwed up because they don't know how to do it right. But at the same time, we got to learn the lessons of people that went before us. So it's just a matter of investigation and finding out what it would take. Of course, Brazil would be great. I think of some of the countries in Africa that would be, specifically great because of all of our connections that we have in some of the African countries, Philippines, of course, India. Again, we just don't know for sure. There are some that I can tell you are off the table. One of them off the table would be Australia. If you think it's tough for regulations and headaches in Canada, welcome to Australia. I mean, it's way worse. So, you need a college degree and all this other kind of crap in order to get a license. You got to be full time. So it depends on the country, but nothing is off the table. Let's just put it that way, unless there's, reasons, as far as regulations are concerned that would prevent us from going there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. So, and by the way, you will hear some companies that, they build a relationship with another 3-letter entity. And there's one that I won't say the name because I don't know much about this other big entity. But just because you are doing business in the USA or Canada with an international company. I'll give you one example. We do business with Manulife in Canada. Manulife is John Hancock in the US. They are also in multiple other countries. Does that mean that if, let's say, Manulife does business or John Hancock does business in 50 countries, I'm just going to throw this out there and see how educated our agents are. Does that mean that Experior is now in 50 countries because we do business with Manulife Canada and John Hancock USA? And just because they're in 50 other countries, does that mean that Experior is now global and we're going and making an impact all over the world and we're in 50? Does that mean that we're in 50 countries?
Nope.
Yes or no?
Nope.
For all the people in the back?
No
Nope.
times 100,
Nope.
Jamie.
Unless
No
you're
times
delusional.
100.
Okay, unless I'm delusional
No.
unless I'm a delusional, unless I'm lying, unless I'm not that bright, unless there's a lot of things about me. Here's the point, guys. Experior is in 1, 2 countries. That's it. 2 countries. And I'm proud to say we're in all 57 states now. That's a joke. Okay, we're in all 50 states. Okay, some of you get that, some of you won't. We're in all 50 states. We are in 1 US territory, Puerto Rico, and we are in all 10 provinces and 3 territories. Okay, that's it. We're in 2 countries. And I'm proud of that. You know, we're not in Mexico yet. We don't have a president in Mexico. We don't have an operations team in the Philippines. We don't have anything else. We are just in 2 countries. But guys, when we do say one day we are in Brazil or we are in Philippines or we are in India, we'll actually be there. We'll actually be licensed and writing business there with people there. Okay, with a staff there, with a home office there. Okay, so but it does take time. Okay, we're in a professional industry. Guam is a great question, Mara. We have actually looked into Guam and we will open up in Guam once we have licensed agents on demand. Currently, we don't, but when we do, we will open up Guam. There's a lot more expenses opening up Guam as far as an entity goes, and we're willing to invest in that. We just want to make sure that that we have agents to make it a good return on investment as a company.
Jamie, we got to take over America and Canada first.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we got work to do. I mean, we're just Canada has this expression called you know, we're a pee hole in the snow, right? Some of y'all, any guys ever urinated outside in the wintertime here in Canada, you know what I'm talking about. Snow is this big, pee is little holes, right? Anyway, you get the point. We're small. We got a lot. Sorry, I should use the term needle in a haystack. Is that better? Right? Okay, sorry.
Honestly, politically correct.
I'm a farmer up here in Canada. Eh? Okay. Somebody like, this guy's the CEO? Yep. Okay. Any other? Elizabeth, go ahead. Elizabeth, you got a question. By the way, Elizabeth, $200,000 earner, been with Experior for what, 10 months, 9 months, something like that?
Quarter million now as of yesterday. $250,000.
$250,000? Woo-hoo-hoo! Congrats. Awesome job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Hi, Jamie. Thank you for putting this together. We couldn't be more excited, you know, and more blessed to be a part of such an amazing, transparent, clear, down-to-earth organization. My question goes into the Hispanic resources, you know, resources in Spanish. As we're growing our business, we have over, you know, now 80 agents, 58 licenses. And 90% of those are Spanish speakers. So, you know, I've had questions about, hey, you know what, do we have presentations in Spanish? Do we have, you know, the resources in Spanish? Is like, there's a lot, and I'm so grateful, but I think that we need a little bit more. I know I just saw Sean popping in because he has his antenna on. Hi, Sean. So yes, I think that for the Hispanic market, we're going to need a little bit more to up the game in terms of, you know, resources and you know, and clean up some of the translations, you know, and I'm trying to help, you know, as much as I can, but I think that we're going to be improving that, and, you know, we want to be a resource, but I think that, you know, resources like, you know, presentations and tutorials are important in Spanish as well.
Certainly. I just put a note in there. It says harass the marketing team. Is harass 1 R or 2? I can't remember.
Well, and there's a bunch of us willing to help and add value because that's
But
what
this,
we're here for.
and yeah, but we do have a full-time translator that all they do is translate Spanish, English properly, okay? They're from
Good.
Mexico originally, so they're not using the Spain translation, they're using more the Mexican, because that's the dominant market that we have in the US. So it should be done, like, if you read my book, that translation was actually done by the same lady. And it's rock solid in Spanish. But you have to get on the marketing team when you see something, because the more requests that they're getting for things like that, the more they're going to put the focus on that. They always focus where the attention is driven from. In addition, though, after the convention, you'll notice this about the marketing team, things get really tough for them a couple months before the convention. They're all scared to death. And I see someone putting in French. I knew that someone would say French as soon as we talk about Spanish. And again, same situation. Make sure that you're talking to the marketing team. Right now, the Spanish business is significantly larger than the French business, right? And as soon as we get into Spanish, French conversations, then my fellows from India start saying, what about Punjabi and Hindi? And then I've got Darren's guys saying, what do you speak, Darren? Ukrainian? Is that the language, or is
Ukrainian and Japanese.
Ukrainian? And then I'm going to get, we need it in Vietnamese, we need it in Chinese, we need it in Mandarin, or whatever. I'm telling you guys, we can only do so much, okay? The thing about Canada, the thing about English, French, and Spanish is that even though American people, or even though the American government, I guess, does not recognize the USA to be a bilingual country, I am not the president of the United States. However, I recognize it as a bilingual country, and those two languages that are dominating are English and Spanish. Just because the governing bodies don't see it that way, I do. So we do take it serious. Elizabeth, only so much I can
Appreciate it.
Mi nombre es Jaime. Puedo, I'm learning a little bit. I'm trying to learn Spanish myself, but I'll tell you, there's only so much that we can do, but the more that you're on the team, the better it's going to be. And then French, same thing, guys. Italian, we already named the application to join Experior in Italian.
Hey.
It's already Italian. Come on, the name Experior is Italian.
We even had Family Guy do a skit on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Jamie, I'm gonna just take 1 second because I wanted to do a side note on convention. Guys, if you have not talked to your team every week about it, you know what? Your belief level comes from how many people you bring with you. My first convention in the previous company was me, myself, and my husband. And we had matching shirts because we were a team since then. And this year, as of right now, we have around 26 people already with tickets. And our plan is to bring at least 50. So we're going to continue fighting for it. But your belief level and the message you send to your team, as far as this is not a place where you go to clap and look pretty, this is where you go to become, to get a new identity, to see mirrors of people that are like you, that look like you, and that are doing better. So that means that you can do it as well. So make sure that you pour that belief in your people and in yourself. This is not about, even the people that is seasoned, I've been 20 years in the industry. I'm more excited for this convention than I've ever been. I feel like a teenager. I tell people, you know what, I'm going to turn 60 this year. And since we started in Experior, I feel like I'm 35. I make noise like a 45, and I don't care about anything like a 20. So the reality is that what you believe, that's what's going to come out. And that's the message your people are going to get. This is not a convention. Oh, I have to pay. Well, you know what? I got an Airbnb and have 20 people in one house because I want my people to pay lower, and if I could, I would definitely pay for it completely. That's the goal. We want to have 2 houses now. So make sure that you help your people, invest in your people so they can come to convention. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. And by the way, while you're talking, I just checked on our Facebook, Joanna in marketing. She's our head of marketing. She said that you have translators.
I gotta bring my charger.
In Spanish and French.
Okay. Yeah.
Someone could mute whoever's talking there. That'd be great. I don't see who it is.
Well, I'll listen to this quietly.
Jen, you're on mute.
Okay, I got her. So we have a translator in French and Spanish. So
Jamie, you got muted.
oh crap. Okay. From Joanna on Facebook, she says that we do have translators in French and English. So if you have a presentation in English that you want it in Spanish or French, please put in a ticket, and they're working diligently on those requests. Thank you, Joanna. Awesome. Okay, cool. And there's another question here. Okay, I think that was it. All right. Next up, Denitsa. You're muted there. No, I can come back to you once you get it figured out. Marcelino and
I think you have to ask them to unmute because the call is muted, so people don't unmute themselves. So you're gonna ask them to unmute. You gotta click. Yeah.
I just asked them to unmute.
Now they can unmute,
Okay.
Jamie.
Thank you.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, a newbie here. I have a question for you guys. So what are the key habits or mindset shift that took you, or maybe took me, from being just good to truly great, both in making money and creating long-term success?
Awesome. One of the EPs want to answer that? See Juan?
Sure, I can jump on that. Danitza, do you have a job right now? You come from a job platform?
I do.
Okay. How long have you had a job?
7 years.
7 years. How long have you been a business owner, entrepreneur, 1099?
3 years.
3 years? So the reason why I ask is you talk about become successful, and the biggest challenge we all gonna have, and I learned this early in my career, the biggest challenge is changing from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. Because it's like you say, habits, right? You mentioned what's good habits. Well, the goal is to let go all of our old habits, right? Our old habits are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, weekends off. If you bring that mindset here, you will not be successful. Okay? You gotta use your regular job to fund and funnel your entrepreneurship. These businesses, whenever it takes, 7 days a week. Like someone texted me, I think and it was funny because it was one of my teammates. He's in California, I'm in Texas. He texted me and it was like 11:15 p.m. my time. And I responded right away. He's like, oh, shoot, I thought you were going to be sleeping. I'm like, bro, it's only 11 o'clock. And he's like, well, it's 11. I'm like, well, what time you go to be bed? Like 9 a.m.? I'm like, come on, bro. Like money doesn't sleep. But just the fact that I said that, the fact that he asked me that, gets me to think how people think. They don't operate 24 hours, 7 days, 365. Now, I'm not telling you not to have a life. I'm very involved in my kids' life. But one of the biggest habits we all got to adapt is to think like a business owner. Think like an entrepreneur. You're not no longer 9 to 5. You're not on payroll. If you don't work, you don't get paid. If you're not on the phone, collecting apps, making things happen, there will be no cycles Mondays and Thursdays. So we come from a job where you clock in, clock out, you expect the checks every 2 weeks. Here, you don't. You go and pay yourself. So the biggest habit I can tell you, Danitza, is to have self-discipline, to have weekly standards, and to understand that you no longer operate like the people around you. And that will be one of the biggest, toughest challenges. If you hang out with a lot of people that are 9 to 5, weekends off, you automatically gonna get sucked into that. And they almost gonna make you feel guilty while you're on meetings on Saturday. They're gonna make you feel guilty while you're on calls on Tuesday nights because they're not. So not only a habit, but you gotta change your habit and you gotta change your environment. That alone will separate you from the rest. And having good habits, the last thing I'll tell you here is give yourself a weekly quota, a weekly challenge. Every week, like a job. Like, how many of you guys have worked on a quota? And if you don't do this, you don't do that, you get laid off, right? So here, you wanna almost act like you're giving yourself a personal quota. If you do that, again, you're gonna be in the top 1% because most people don't do that. So I hope that helped you.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think for the sake of time, we've gone a long time. We've already been 1 hour, but I think for the sake of time, I would like the executive partners just in a quick couple of minutes, just share from the heart a little bit about, your vision for your organization with Experior and, maybe something if you have any other points on the convention, I think we killed the convention talk. I mean, I think everyone here is either registered or you're a convict and you can't cross the border from Canada to the US, one or the other. So no, actually, that's not necessarily true. There are PRs in Canada that without a visa can't enter the USA, or risk of being deported or whatever. So there are some rare circumstances where Canadians can't go. Americans have no excuse. You guys can travel, do whatever you want within your country. But Canadians, there are some with PR issues that can't travel. By the way, that PR issue has been an American issue since 9/11. Right? Because they tightened up things back in 9/11, understandably so. So that's why, unfortunately, not all of our Canadian agents who are PRs can attend. But if you guys could, just the four of you, if you want to just share maybe for a couple minutes from the heart, where you see your business going and what might be able to inspire someone to take their business to the next level.
Jamie, I'll go first on that one.
Sure.
And you know, this will connect a bit with the last caller as well. You know, Jamie, my story, my journey, guys, being in business for 25 years, full time. My goodness, in a couple months will be my 25th anniversary. And Jamie, you know, I want to share this with everybody because I think it's really, really important. I spent a good part of my first 3 to 5 years in this business full time, focusing on knowledge of the products and the services. Okay. And what that did, Jamie, in those first 3 to 5 years, it got me up to about 50 grand of income, right? I wasn't the guy, everybody, that, you know, had an incredible start and did all these great things. I wasn't that guy. I'm the guy that took 10 years until I got to $100,000 of income. Took me 10 years. Okay. And, you know, I'm proud of my journey.
Real quick. For those just getting on the call, he wasn't with Experior then. Okay, this is before Experior.
No.
Okay,
that's right.
I just want to clear that up.
Yes, thank you, brother. For whatever reason, those first 15 years with my prior company, it didn't click for me. Right? It didn't. But I didn't quit. And Jamie, I really, you know, believe in this with everything in me, folks. For us to get to the next level, I agree with what everyone said earlier, and Juan and Darren, Amato, everybody. Right? You got to have that discipline. You got to take the action. You've got to do all those things. But here's what comes before that, because Jamie, for me, when I shifted, I finally made a shift at, you know, some point in my late 20s where I began to work on me. I began to work on my thinking, my attitude, my mindset. See, some folks, hey, listen, God bless. If you're born with, you know, wonderful parents who told you how incredible you are and you've got what it takes to change the world and you were raised that way, God bless you. I wasn't. I knew my parents loved me, but they kicked my butt more than anything else, right? So I didn't have that per se. But Jamie, here's what changed my business, what changed my life when I started working on this. When I started working on my thinking. And folks, there is a very, very precise formula to shift everything in your life, every area of life. And all the winners on this call, everyone from agents to all the way up to EDs, EPs, Jamie, Leanne, everybody has actually used this formula, but they may realize it, they might not, but they've used it. And I'm going to just give you,
Listen to you. Should I put it in your email so you can open it up?
Thank you. And I'm going to just share these 3 things with everybody if you want to change your life, because this is what happened to me. And I'm going to keep it real simple, Jamie. Number 1, work on you guys. Work on how you think. Work on how you think about yourself, your belief in yourself, belief in your opportunity, belief in what you deserve. Focus on your future. Focus on where you are going, not where you were. Jamie, I love you know, you got to copyright that statement, Jamie. We might not be where we want to be, but thank God we ain't where we used to be. Folks, focus on your future, okay? Work on you. Number 1. Number two, this is huge. This is understated. Keep your energy and your excitement up. Keep your feelings up. Feel great. Feel positive every chance you get. to just smile and let the small stuff go. And trust me, I'm speaking to the choir when I say this. It is everything in this business. It's everything. When we used to hear, the great A.L. Williams used to say, Art used to say, no one's going to follow a dull, disillusioned, dadgum crybaby. He's right. He's right. And folks, those two things, success and changing your life, can't live with being negative, with being a baby, with letting the world take you down. You've got to find a way to stay up here all the time. Okay? Work on you, work on your mindset, work on what you believe in yourself, who you are, your future, what you deserve. Next, keep your energy up here. Stay positive. Keep your feelings up here. And number three, take action every day. Like Juan said, take the action every single day. You only grow confident in anything when you take action. You see, folks, eventually you got to put the book down. Eventually you got to stop watching the videos. Eventually you got to stop attending all the trainings, and you got to take what you've learned and now run with it and apply it. And if you just take those three things, folks, and you just stay consistent on those three things, your life is going to change beyond your wildest dreams, faster than you think possible. It happened to us, Jamie, and that's the exact precise way we did it. We came to Experior just 9 years ago. We came to Experior with 17 agents on my team. We made $157,000 in that last company. And in 8.5 years, this company's paid us a 7-figure income. And it's down to $100K a month. And it's because of those 3 steps right there. I love you guys. Jamie, thank you for doing this. Thank you, everybody, for being on. Thank you for the opportunity. I love you guys. Back to you, brother.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And listen, hey, guys,
Great message.
what's funny is you make it, Frank's making $100K a month. First of all, I'm not sure how you can live on that, brother. I'm praying for you and the family. I hope that you really get things cranked up one day. But what's funny is it's like the only place in the world that you can go out and make great money, but it's not good enough. Not because you're not making good money. It's because you know what your team can still do and accomplish, right? And that's what it comes down to. And that's why I love our leaders. Frank, as much as he comes across like a bulldog sometimes, and he's tough and he's a tough coach, he's got the freaking heart of gold. I mean, he truly wants to see people win so bad it eats him up at night. So that's one thing I know. Who wants to go next out of our 4 executive partners?
I'll go next, Jamie.
Go for it, Mo.
And Frank forgot to say the main reason why he is where he is because he's a champ. He's a stud. No matter what has happened in his life or in his business, he always got up and fought a little bit harder the next day. So I'm proud to have him as part of the team. Listen, the vision that I have is almost something that I don't even know is possible, but because of where we've come from, where we're at now, 9 years later, I can't believe it, Frank. We came over with how many people? Maybe 30, 40 total. I just looked, we have over 2,500 licensed agents in our hierarchy in just 9 years. That is something I never thought would have happened. And, the reason being, it's not because I'm great. It's not because Frank's great, but I'll tell you something. It's because this company it has a vision. It's going somewhere. And we treat people with integrity. And I think that's the main thing. In my career, I've always treated my clients and my teammates with the utmost transparency and integrity. And if you're in this business to just make money, you can leave right now, because you can make money anywhere, legally and illegally. But at Experior, you only make money when you help others. There's a lot of us right now, we're all looking at each other, we're all here, and you just say, show up. But I disagree with that. Showing up is just a part of the equation. Showing up is just the beginning. Because if you show up and do nothing, you're not going to get anywhere. If you show up and complain, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you show up and you keep moving forward and you keep bringing people with you, see, I believe my superpower is it's not about me. And because of that, we have so many people that are successful in our hierarchy that are making millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and have changed their lives because I didn't make it about me. But guess what? Because I wanted them to win more than they wanted to win, I got what I want. And I'm living the dream life that I've always wanted. And it has nothing to do with just showing up. Showing up is just the beginning. You have to put work in.
Hello.
You have to have vision. You have to have results. Be results oriented. Every single thing I do has to have a result. Every conversation, every appointment, everything I do has to have an end result attached to it. If you're just doing things just to do it, you're just going to keep spinning around and chasing your own tail. So for me, I think the vision is for our organization is we're probably going to hit 10,000 people in our organization within the next couple of years. And that's just in our hierarchy. But I think Experior, no, I don't think. I know Experior is going to hit 25 to 30,000 agents by the end of this year. And we're going to be something that people are going to be writing books about. I'm just so proud of everyone on this call. I'm so proud of everyone who's watching on Facebook, but I'm really, really, really happy that I took a shot with Jamie and Leanne 9 years ago, and they've completely changed my life, and they can do the same for you if you do more than just show up. You got to do more. Love and appreciate you all, man. Can't wait to see you all at the convention. Looking forward to it.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. And you know what, Mauro, I don't know if you've read this book. Have you read this book? Trust Matters? Okay. Because everything that you encompass as a leader is in that book right there. And here's what's really exciting, guys. Here's what's really exciting. I don't think most of our competitors would ever pick up a book like this unless they're trying to figure out how to manipulate people. Because in our listen, man, I want to slap them right upside the head, in the face, punch them in the mouth, kick them in the newts. Because I'll tell you something. They're not telling people the truth. Case in point. We have the best opportunity in the world. That's a lie. And especially when you know it's a lie. Okay? Especially when you know it's a lie. There are some great leaders from other organizations. And I'll tell you what, some of those great leaders, I've heard the behind the doors conversations. One in particular with a former pastor of mine who said, he says that on stage, that big leader so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, he still says it's the greatest thing in the world, best thing since sliced bread. And they go, that's not what he says behind closed doors, right? That's not what's said behind closed doors. A lot of these people know that their company is no longer what it once was, but the company's too big, too public, too owned by someone else, too whatever to change, right? It's hard to steer a big ship when the avalanche is only inches away. But see, we still got a speedboat, right? We're still nimble and quick. And guys, number one, from day freaking one, that's the one focus that I had when we built this company, because we were so pissed off at how other people ran their operations, not just where I came from, but multiple other companies that I had to work with along the way of building up Experior. And then as I started recruiting agents from other enterprises that are borderline criminal enterprises, I get sick to my stomach when I think about it. And I feel like that's our war cries. We got to go show people in this industry that you have been lied to and that this is the most important thing in business. That's the number one thing in business, in our business anyways, right? There's lots of businesses you can screw people over and sell bad products and all that kind of stuff in all different lines of industries out there, all different types of industries out there, I should say. But in our industry, in our company, this is what matters. And if you don't have this, if you want to play games, if you want to skirt the system, if you want to do something to take a shortcut, you probably aren't the best fit for us. I'm going to be honest with you. I know lots of other 3-letter companies I could refer you to if you like, and I would be glad to do that. Because if this isn't top priority for you, then you will not be top priority for us. Does that make sense? Okay. Next, 2 more today, 2 more speakers. Who we got? We got Darren left, and Darren and Stephanie and Juan.
If Juan's ready, if not, I can jump in. Great messages. Frank, you took the words right out of my mouth. When I mentioned when I got started in this industry, Jamie, I didn't believe in myself. I had been beaten up, beaten down, failures, one after the other. You know, yeah, everyone has some success along the way, but you're always going to have a lot of failure too. And a lot of people think that, oh, I'm not going to fail at Experior or I'm going to be successful at Experior. It doesn't work that way. It's actually, you're here, failure's in the middle, and then success is at the end. So you have to fail your way to success, folks. Like you have to, basically, you have to give your abilities time to catch up to your goals and dreams. And so that's what Frank was saying in the training. So, you know, when we started here, Jamie, we had to start completely from scratch. It was my wife and I. We didn't even have 20, 30, 50, 100, 500 people. We had to begin all over again. So what was the difference of us starting over
and not bringing anybody here was I still had to do the activity. I still had to believe in myself. I have something called PAP. PAP will set you free: prospect, approach, contact, and present. If you do those three things over and over and over again and take action, a lot of people say, yeah, but Darren, my past is so bad. I grew up on the wrong side of the street. It doesn't matter. Take action. Go do our business. Darren, I failed before. I didn't make it the previous company. It doesn't matter. Go take action. Go do the PAP. Go read the books like Frank said. Go to class. Do the things you're supposed to, attend the trainings. But at some point, you've got to take that action. You've got to prospect, approach, contact, and present. The difference between your goals and dreams and where you're at is the action. Yes, the training is important. Yes, the mindset is important. Yes, books are important. But at some point, what I look at, Jamie, is every single person. I was so broke, as you say, I couldn't pay attention. I couldn't even pay that much, right? And so what was the difference of me going to that first convention? I thought, I'm 116,000 credit card debt. Shoot, my credit cards, I'm going to notice another $3,000 or $2,000 or $1,000. They won't even notice, right? I did whatever I could do. I actually called my credit card companies and I said, hey, I'm about to pay off these credit cards. I'm coming in some money here. And so, but I got, my business is really busy and I just need a little bit more. Is there a possibility I get a little extension on my credit card? I got 2 credit cards to give me $5,000 more each. That got me to my first convention. And so, folks, I don't know what it is for you that you got to do to get there. But, one thing, Jamie, I'm so excited about the team is we've got so many leaders. We've got 9 SEDs right now, and our goal is to go to 100 SEDs. And so my focus for the team right now, it's not about Darren and Stephanie. It never was from the beginning. It was always about just building the team. So our goal right now is to blast out SEDs, NEDs, SNEDs, and executive partners. We want to have at least 10 executive partners by the time we're, prepared to slow down, I guess you'd say, or kind of take a step back and maybe do another charge. But I think right now what I'm so proud of is the team that we have. And Rios has been just unbelievable. The leaders we have and the people we have up and coming, the new people, but also the I'll say the old guard, that we have in the leadership today. And so I'm so excited for them to see them, Jamie, building $250,000 residual income cash flows. Folks, you have to work 40 years in a career to maybe get $3,000 to $4,000 if you're lucky. So, Jamie, I feel we're so blessed. I'm just thankful we're here and we have this opportunity. I got to tell some of you here, like, you are so lucky to never have to be part of a P company originally or a W company originally or 4 or 5 other companies and then find Experior. If you're here already, there's nothing more to think about. You either do this or it's never going to happen elsewhere. It's like a one-shot deal. You've got to go do the action. You've got to make the decision. You got to put your all into it. Because if you don't do this, what are you going to wait for? Another Experior? It probably ain't going to happen. This is it, baby. Like, you got to make a decision. It's got to be a life-changing decision you got to make, just like anything else. And just go do it, guys. Please. I'm begging you, Frank, Morrow, Juan, Veronica, Stephanie, all of our leaders here, we want you to do it. The head office wants you to do it. Please go do it. But you got to, I think the first step, get to convention.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, by the way, Darren, you have to live your life in such a way that if anyone ever spoke badly about you, the people that actually know you in your heart would never believe them. And that's what I think about when I think of Darren and Stephanie Golka. When they first joined us, it was a bit of a threat here in Canada at the time because they were big leaders with WFG. And I actually got phone calls from a couple, $1 million earner called me. I heard through the grapevine from others at our sponsoring company at the time, La Capitale. They had calls from not the president, because the president's actually a good dude, but another big leader in the field. And $1 million earner called me directly to warn me about Darren Golka. He's bad news. You don't want him. Do you know what he did at WFG? Turns out nothing could be further from the truth. He left on a very high note at his former company. He was one of the MVPs. Actually, him and Patrick Bet-David were both MVPs of the company in corresponding years, I believe. Or Darren, you'd know better.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, 2008. And so, like, the guy was a stud and Stephanie was a superstar. And these guys, nothing. But here's what happened. I was a little bit cautious with Golka because of what I'd heard about him. I was a little bit gun shy. I'm like, and when I found out, like, he's really nice all the time, I was like, not cool, not cool. And finally, I think it was like 2 years later, Darren, I heard you drop the F-bomb for the first time, and I'm like, yes, he's the real deal. I believe him now. Oh, all this time I thought you can't put on this, but really, truth be told, Darren is just a really good freaking person. And anyone that says otherwise, you just don't know the Darren that I know. And by the way, people in his business know exactly what I'm talking about. This guy works relentlessly for his team, as do all these leaders that have spoke. Frank DeLeo, I met Mauro Arturi. By the way, Mauro, I'll tell you about Mauro, guys. There would not be a Daniel and Ashley Prete, a Frank and Yolanda DeLeo, a Mario and Leanna Francella, a Frank and Rose DeTore. There would not be, and I probably missed some, but guys, there would not be any leaders in Mauro's business if it wasn't for Mauro. That guy, he was the glue that kept his organization together when they were at their old company and when things were a struggle and that. So leadership is just everything. Last but not least, let's hear from the great Juan Jaime, and then we'll close out this meeting. Juan, if you got some other words of wisdom, we'd love to hear it, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm fired up here. Just made it home. I just pulled into my garage, so perfect timing. Thank you, guys. And again, I apologize for being on the phone, but I just want to challenge every single one of you guys to really see the big picture here, right? And I know it takes time. That's what it's called vision, right? To see something that is not there. And I'm the opposite, right? A lot of people say, Juan, where you guys work and I'm actually the opposite. I feel responsible for all the people that follow me. I know a lot of people, like Darren said, no one follows us. I have people that follow me, but I don't take that as give me a trophy. I look at that as a responsibility. These people shut down their incomes. These people started from scratch. These people believing in us. These people say, if Juan, you did it, I'll do it. And man, you have no idea how much pressure that is as a leader. At least I take it like that. That's why I'm so psycho with the numbers. And I look at what they're doing and I want them to be successful. And I know what they made that day before they even know they made it. Like, I'm glued to the computer. I have a vision. And all I can tell you guys is when you, just like Mauro said, when you want your people to win more than yourself, eventually you will win. And then on top of that, again, my wife and I, we feel a big responsibility, not only for our personal family, but all the people that have the faith on us and believed in us to say, hey, if it's good enough for you, you left that company, man, I want to go follow. And now we're here. And our vision is huge. I'll tell you this. I never had this. When we're in the transition, I never had this big of a vision. And when I met with Jamie, I still remember I saw his eyes go like, whoa, right? But I really meant it. I said, we're going to build 100,000 licensed agents. We're not here to play small. Like, we're here to, when people talk about writing books, they are going to write it. And there's going to be a diamond in front of it. And I'll tell you guys this because I believe that. Now, is that going to happen tomorrow? No. Is that going to happen 5 years from now? No. Is that going to happen 10 years from now? No. But I can tell you, everything starts with a vision and a goal. And if your goal and vision is not big enough to scare you, to make you lose sleep, then it's not big enough. And it's beyond the money. We are going to become successful. We're going to develop $1 million a month earners as we move forward, right? They say you're not $1 million earner until you get one. So guess what? I'm not $1 million earner, right? You're not a $500,000 earner until you have a $500,000 earner. You're not an executive partner until you have an executive partner. So that's the stuff that we're constantly thinking about it. And this is why I put so much fire in my team, which I'm so grateful, so blessed that they're with me. I constantly tell them how much I appreciate every single one of them. We constantly tell them how much we love them. But at the same time, we're tough. We challenge them. We know we can do better. We can expect better. We expect big numbers. And we have such a large vision that we can't stop, right? I'll be 43-year-old in June, right? I'll be 43. So I told my wife, honey, from now, right? We've been doing this for 9 months in Experior now. I said, we give ourselves until we're 30 to give it everything we got, not until we're 30, until we're 50, which is about 7 years at that time when we made that decision. And I said, we're going to give it everything we got. But we're going to do it differently. We're going to do a strategy. We're going to do it with leadership. We're going to do it with vision. We're going to do it with pretty much everything we've done. And I'll tell you this, I did my homework. You also probably assume, just like you guys. And when I found Experior, when I met with Jamie and Leanne, I flew into Canada. A lot of people don't know that. Before I made that decision, I flew into Canada. I spent almost 2 days out there with them, getting to know them, see their operation team, spend time with that. And I'll tell you guys this. on the way back, flying, my wife and I look at each other and say, is this it? I said, I think this is it. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And that's when we came back. We made it official. I quit the other company, took a month off to spend time with my family because I knew I was going to grind like crazy after 18 years. And we started officially in August 1st. But I'll tell you this, it's probably one of the best decisions I've done in my business so far. We're so excited to be here. We're so excited to improve the platform. We're so excited to make history. And we want to make sure you guys do it together. And by the way, some of you, I seen the feedback. Man, this call is great. This call is great. If you think this call is good, imagine it in person. Wait till convention, baby, right? This is 10% of what it's really gonna be. Shaking hands, taking pictures, jumping up and down for 3 days. So I wanna challenge you guys. I wanna challenge you guys. Again, you heard it from the top people in this company, but don't look at us like a top. Look at it like you're one of us. We're just few blocks in front of you. We on the same street. We on the same road. We're chasing the same thing. We only just few blocks in front of you. But Diamond Nation's here with Experior. We're gonna make big moves. And again, our vision is 100,000 licensed agents. That's just Diamond. I'm sure Experior will be at 200,000 by the time we get there, but we're gonna do it together. So I'm fired up to be here. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, team. Thank you, the staff, for putting this convention together. I do events, and I know so much work goes behind the scenes. We can't wait to be there. And we all, think about it, it's 500 of us here. It's 500 of us. If we all push 2 more people between now and then, that will be a sold out arena. Let me say that one more time. If we all here put your money where your mouth is, right? Don't just be, I'm excited. Yeah, great. Green people, right? Because that's leadership. They said the definition of a leadership is looking back and see how many people follow. So you consider yourself a leader? All right. How many people are going with you, right? How many people are you mobilizing? How many people are you inspiring? And if you got to rent homes or do ticket reimbursement or do whatever you got to do to mobilize them, I guarantee you will be paid. It will be worth it. So let's make this convention a historic one. First one in the United States, but definitely not the last one. But it will not be the same without you. So we want to make sure you guys are there. Bring your teammates. We love you guys. Let's go win together. Here we go. This is going to go down in the books. Thank you, Jamie, for setting up this call.
Right on, man. Hey, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate every one of you taking time out of your days. I mean, Juan's there with his son, soccer. I got my mom's birthday I'm going to. I know Frank's probably got family stuff, Mauro. And all of you here, every one of you sacrificed an hour and a half of your time. But what we're going to ask you to do is sacrifice a couple days at this convention. Like Juan said, Frank, Mauro, Darren, guys, it is so powerful, the tools and nuggets you're going to get. I hope that you guys make the right choice for your business. And guys, I'll tell you this, Juan is actually the first guy that we brought to Experior that was already making over $1 million a year. But here's what I believe. There's a lot more Juans that have this as their principal force when they're driving their business. Trust matters. And guys, mark my words. For all the $1 million earners out there that are in this industry today, that are in a builder's model, and I don't care which one it is, I'm not going to be prejudiced towards one versus the other. If this is important to you and you are making $1 million a year, it behooves you not to be a part of Experior, or at least invest your time, energy, and resources to learn about Experior so that you can actually put that first and foremost in your business. And guys, like Juan and Veronica, they weren't going to join Experior until they flew in to see me. Like Darren and Stephanie, almost 700K earners, they weren't joining Experior until they flew in and see me. Frank and Mauro, they weren't joining Experior until I had to drive my ass to them, but they're only an hour away. But nonetheless, they weren't joining Experior until they got to see firsthand what, number one, what Experior is all about, but number two, maybe number one, what my wife and I are all about. What is the leadership of this company like? Because everything flows from the people running the organization. Now, it's not just my wife and I running it. Obviously, we've got great C-suite executive partners here. I look at this as Juan and Veronica are partners of Experior. They're not a downline of Experior. Mauro and Mara, Frank and Yolanda, Darren and Stephanie, all our executive partners are just that. They're partners. They're partners in this company and where we're taking this thing. They're shareholders in this company. They own their business. And wait till you hear one of the bombshells I'm sharing at the convention. Some of y'all got instant wealth like that, building a bit like instant. Just all I'm saying is this. If you're $1 million earner in this industry and you don't have Experior on your business card, and that's important to you, Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. I'll see you guys at the convention. Let's rock and roll. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye.
Great call, Jamie. Love and appreciate you, buddy.
Guys.
Thank you,
Let's
Jamie.
go,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nos vemos en la convención.
Out the convention.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Nos vemos en la convención. Gracias.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Let's go.
Thank you. Anyways, I'm done.
Wow.
Nice. Who's excited?
That was awesome.
Keith, I love it.
All right. Guys.
That was the best show of excitement this morning. Awesome.
Agree.
No, guys, isn't it great to be a part of a company that they're not a bunch of talking heads, that they're real, they're genuine, and they're having conversations with each other. And that's the kind of relationship that we have with those same people. Every time we go to a Texas takeover, every time we go to a main event, they're coming up to us and they're going, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're all hanging out with us, having dinner and food, and they're talking about just life, and they're asking you about life, and they're asking how they can help you grow and build and become better at your craft in this business. And it's just unbelievable. So guys, I'm going to open it up to Q&A. And by the way, Courtney, I posted in the Saturday competency chat where you can get your convention ticket, but make sure that all you new people, if you're interested in coming to the convention, we have a discount code for you. So, yes. So yeah, I wanted to open up for any Q&A. Who's got some questions and answers? All right, who's got some questions? Anybody? Don't be shy.
The only question I had was regarding what Jamie talked about U.S. territories, and I like what he said. It kind of answered my question about the U.S. Virgin Islands, because he basically said, for those who don't know, Guam is a U.S. territory. So he said, once we have people in Guam, then we'll open in Guam. And I asked that question because somebody asked me, "Hey, are you guys open in the U.S. Virgin Islands?" And essentially, it's a U.S. territory, much like Puerto Rico. My assumption would be once we have people in the U.S. Virgin Islands, then we'll be open in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So,
yes.
But do you know how many people that we have to have? I mean, is there a set number? Do you know? Sorry, Paul, I didn't mean to overstep or jump in line.
I don't know if it's a certain number. I would just say it's got to be somebody that has an ambition to go find people to build on their team, and also people to provide products and services to and solutions to.
Probably right. In U.S. Virgin Islands, it's somebody. I mean, you may have somebody in U.S. Virgin Islands who has family, and by the way, this is not uncommon. They have family in the continental U.S.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of people from the U.S. Virgin Islands who live stateside.
Well, the reason why I ask is that I had interviewed somebody that lived in the United States but has family and is from the Virgin Islands. So, and I was trying to see how, because she would love to have her family join her team, but they don't want to move to the States. So
right. So the question
if her family gets licensed, if one of her family members gets licensed, and then she's a contact, that's something we can start with.
And the first thing to do is to find out, can they get licensed? First and foremost, will they allow people in the U.S. Virgin Islands to be licensed so that they can sell U.S. products? And if that question is yes, we're off to the races at that point.
Yeah. And I've got a country I'm working on, but that's you guys are the first to know about it. So
it's Pakistan.
You're hilarious.
Paul.
Is it my Tom Selleck mustache that you're saying that?
Paul has his hand raised.
Yes, Paul, go ahead, buddy.
It wasn't about this, it's about something else that I think some of you have seen that Monica and I posted. I just wanted to show it.
Go on.
So, share the screen, please.
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, let me give you permission.
I'll give you
By
permission.
the way, Courtney asked me a question earlier, when they were talking about all the different terminology with what we do. And I answered her question, yes, Courtney, you will learn these terms. That'll be part of your onboarding and your field training and your testing. So you will definitely learn all the terms.
100%, 100%.
Okay. Can you all see that?
Yep.
All right. Yes, sir.
Okay, I was I don't know. Oh, on my mastermind the other day, and this lady I know that sells silver,
Yeah.
she showed us this 5-ounce silver Texas bar.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
That's
Yeah, and we decided, Monica and I, with Monica's permission, that we ordered one. I ordered one, and we're going to present it to Jamie as part of the convention, being it's the first convention outside of Canada in Texas, and it's Texas themed. On the back, it has. Let me see. Hold on a second.
Can't you click the arrow that's on the picture?
No, it's not a. It's not a. I got a picture. There it is. Give me a second. It'll come up. There's the back. And it comes with a case and a stand. So you can kind of see how thick it is. It's not a thin thing. It's 5 ounces of silver. And it comes with a little stand for his desk and all that kind of stuff. So
That's incredible.
it is cool. I'll eventually order one for myself. And maybe when I'm rich and famous, or when I'm just rich, I'll get some for my team.
Yeah, same here.
If you want to donate, there's PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, and it's up to you. It's like with shipping, it's I don't know, $270 or something like that, which is actually pretty good for what it is.
Silver. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in chipping in a little coinage, it's up to you. No obligations.
I appreciate your brain, Paul. This is so nice.
This is incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty cool when my friend showed me that. I'm like, oh, I got to get one of these. I've already ordered it. It should be here. Yeah, hopefully next week.
You don't need a stand though, Paul. Texas stands on its own.
I know. But so if y'all want to donate, feel free.
Very nice. Very nice.
Great idea. Great idea.
Yeah.
Well done, brother.
That's it. Oh, I'm signing up someone else today, Virginia.
Okay.
Guys, we gotta build big, because the reason we build big is because we can't do all the business by ourselves. If we come into some big deals, right? Like myself, I have the potential of in the next year and a half, next 18, 24 months of seriously getting a 4 big, huge cases with certain communities in the great state of Oklahoma. And we just keep on adding. He just keeps on talking about adding another one. I said, dude, you got to slow down. Let me get in one first, and let's get in one first, work those kinks out, and then get in the other, and then get in the other. And he's like, I know, I just got a big vision. I said, I know, so do I. So let's go, let's get it happening. So the reason we're building big is because it's not about us. It's about everybody else that we bring in. There are people out there looking for us. There are people out there looking for a chance, just like I was 17, 18 years ago in a flipping Starbucks, working part-time as a youth pastor, which doesn't mean part-time, it means full-time with cheap pay, all right, as a youth pastor, and a part-time martial arts instructor barely getting paid. So, guys, I was looking for something like this. And Steve was looking for something like this. Paul was looking for Virginia. Guys, thank a recruiter, because they brought you into a mindset of making money for yourself, but not by yourself. And guys, really just making you make money while you sleep.
Speaking of which, that's a great point that Jason made. I just want to challenge the new people who are not licensed yet. I want to challenge you and kind of leave the call with this. so because we've been on for about an hour and 40 minutes now. I challenge you, we got 3 weeks. Somebody posted it earlier, in fact, Reba posted it. We got 3 weeks until the convention. I challenge you to not only get your license, but to get promoted in that time frame. You definitely can. We talked to you both about it before. I think there's 2 or 3 people in here not licensed yet. I got promoted before I got my license. They will allow that. All that means is that the moment you get your license, you're starting at 85% instead of 70%. And as I've said to the people I've trained on this call, if I have $700 in one hand and $850 in the other, which one do you want? Nobody said 700. Everybody always says 850. So let's go help you get that 850. And that can be done between now and the convention. Believe it or not, it really can be. You got time.
And to bounce off of that, guys, 3 weeks is not hard. It's
Right.
not hard.
I was going to say, before I jump on and add to that, Steve, Paul, you have your hand up again.
Yes.
Yeah, I talked to Rich about a couple of my people here that just signed up. We're trying to get in convention, but if not, we can at least bring him to the FML night on the 18th.
Yes.
So,
Night.
You can
I just want to make sure before I.
You definitely want to come to that night. And that's one of the reasons why I said, let's focus on getting you guys promoted between now and then. Because wouldn't it be cool if at that night you got announced as a brand new SFA?
Like yes, like what Darren said. If you need the money, go into your EFAs, go into your list, make a list, get with your trainer, get those meetings set up. It's really up to you to get that going, because there's a pocket of money, there's an incentive of a reimbursement for you guys while you're in your licensing.
Absolutely.
So, we're working with a new one. He's not doing it in 60 days. He's doing it in 30. And so you guys can do the same. Everybody can do that.
And by the way,
your trainer, if your trainer isn't available, find out from your trainer who in their team is available. I am leveraging Steve right now because he has time to help me with my new people. So if I'm not available to my new teammates, definitely get onto Steve's calendar.
And by the way, the people who work with me, you get like you heard Virginia say, start making this money. I do pay.
Yes, he does.
I do pay. So you will get your money. We want to make sure you guys get reimbursed for the work.
I can attest to that.
Want to make sure you get reimbursed for the work. You get paid. So let's go get it. I'm proud of you guys. We'll wrap this thing up. Any last words?
Tammy has a question.
Tammy.
Tammy, go ahead, Tammy.
I had a question about hiring people in these new countries. I don't know if you guys know about it or not, but if I was to say hire somebody in Puerto Rico, how does that work with me hiring them on the team? Like, obviously somebody in Puerto Rico is going to have to field train them and help them to get licensed, but
Not
is
necessarily.
that person still going to be on my team?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Just like in the US, just like
no different than the US.
in the US.
Puerto Rico uses US dollars. It's no different than being in the US. It's just, instead of them being a state, they're a territory. That's all.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be a state. There are certain things about them not being a state that's advantageous to them. So
someone in Puerto Rico would field train them and help them to get licensed, and then once they're licensed, I would override them.
or we could help them to get field trained, or you could help them to get field trained, because it operates
It's just like it's another state.
yeah, it's just like it's another state.
Just can't drive to it. You got to take a boat to it.
Unless they only speak Spanish.
So what about if it's a new country that we're opening up?
Well,
Like Mexico.
Well, we don't know
We'll
yet.
cross that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we come to
We'll
it.
cross that bridge when it gets there.
But for now, Puerto Rico, just think of Puerto Rico like a state.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it pretty much is.
It's no different than your 3 territories in Canada. You hire somebody in one of those 3 territories, you don't have to find somebody there to train them, right? It's still part of Canada. So it doesn't.
Now, their non-resident license actually is about the same as like Illinois. It's like $400. So
Illinois is ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
So let's go get it. You got somebody in Puerto Rico, that'd be awesome.
I want to get some people there.
I have a huge potential of getting a couple of people in Puerto Rico because I've got a couple of martial arts students that are Puerto Rican. So
Nice.
Anyway, any questions? I wanted to introduce, guys, do a quick introduction of our new people that are on right now, and then I think Nick and Courtney are the new people on here. And
Hello.
we'll go ahead and start with Courtney. Courtney, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you to join Experior, and what you're excited most about being here with us?
And who brought you in?
And who brought you in?
Steve brought me in.
Woohoo!
My name's Courtney Reese. I'm originally from Oklahoma. Grew up in
Oklahoma, baby. Sorry.
Originally from Oklahoma. Grew up in New Orleans. Now living in Houston. I'm a single mom. I have 5 kids. And what I'm most excited about is financial security for not just my future, but my kids' future and my grandchildren's future. Just creating generational wealth of some sort.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Love it.
Welcome to the team. You're in good hands with Steve, and I think everybody that's on the call right now is in Steve's team. So there you go.
I had somebody on the training, but she left before we switched over to here.
That's
Shakima
okay.
was on.
Oh, that's good that she made it onto the training. Awesome.
I'm glad she made it on for the main event.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I messaged her when we switched over and said, hey, we're done with the Facebook Live and we're just, sitting with the team now if you want to come back on and meet everybody, but she hasn't answered.
That's okay.
Next week.
And a lot of people have typically planned some things to do on Saturday as they work throughout the week and such. So probably had something going on. Anyway, Nick, welcome back. I know you've been here a couple of times, but you're official with us now. And what caused you to finally pull the trigger and come in and really give yourself a shot here?
That's a really good question. What caused me to kind of dive right in? Well, I just I don't know. I kind of had a good feeling about it. I would assume, I mean, I guess that's not the best answer, but I just kind of felt like the the barrier to entry was minimal enough for me to get involved and you know, see what I can do here. And I had orientation uh I think it was Thursday night, and it was a couple hours, and I realized if everything's going the way it should be going, which it will, I think my 60 days to promotions starting today. I got it on my calendar. I got the numbers on the countdown, and I'd like to see that happen for sure.
Well, we're happy to have you in the organization and on the team. And Nick, if you need anything from me or Virginia, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And good job, buddy. And here's the key point that Nick said. I don't know if he knew it was a key point or not yet, but the key point is you're setting the date. You're setting the time when your promotion starts. And Keith Jones did it in the chat too. He said 3 weeks is time for him to become a senior manager. Guys, if you don't set a date, it's a wish. If you set a date, it's a goal. If you act on it on the day you make the goal, then it's a purpose. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, buddy. God. Somebody's begging for attention again. Anyway.
Oh, somebody's ready to go.
So guys, that is key. Set a date, make it happen, and let's get to working. Utilize your field trainer. Get in that field training. Do not be afraid to talk to anybody you know, because these people that you know are looking for you. Not all of them, but some of them are. I contacted 20 people when I first got into Experior and ended up with 5 people wanting to work with me. And guess what? I was in this industry beforehand. I just said, hey, look, I'm in a new company, better opportunity for us. You want to check it out? That's how I brought JT in. That's how I brought Ronnie in. That's how I brought, and all that stuff. I just said, hey man, I got something you need to look at. That's all you got to do. Just say, hey man, I got something for you to look at. Talk to my business partner, Virginia. Talk to my business partner, Tammy, my business partner, Steve, my business partner, Keith, JT, whoever it is, right? And Paul, because he's getting thrown in the mix now. Paul, you're on your way to being a field trainer, buddy. I'm so happy. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm going to shut it down because it's time to go. All right. Guys, thank you
Everybody
so
have a
much
good
for
weekend.
this extended special Saturday. We're back to the main game and the main thing with Rich and Monica Claypool next weekend. And we will see you then. See you at the top. The bottom is too crowded. Bada boom. Anyway.
Make sure Shaquem was on that one, Tammy. Be great for her to meet.
Love the hat, Steve.
Thank you. Take care.
Peace out, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye, guys.